How often do you cry? What's a normal amount? When I was in a bad marriage, I cried all the time, like multiple times per week, seemingly over nothing. Post-divorce, I truly don't even remember the last time I cried. Not normal to cry daily unless there's something specific going on or something strikes you that makes you emotional. If you think it's excessive, then it is. At this point, make an appointment with your primary care doctor and let them know exactly what you are experiencing. There are many physiological problems that can cause this. It's not always a mental health problem. And regardless of what it is, your doctor can refer you to an appropriate resource. Like 1-2 times per year. I don't cry. I think normal is relative to the person. I honestly can't remember the last time I've cried. Honestly depressing at this point. There are times when I really try to just let everything out, but it just doesn't. I cry about an hour every day when I wake up. 31-year-old female. Life is hard. I used to cry almost daily. Then I got back on Lexapro, and the crying dropped down to once or twice a week. Then I got divorced, and wouldn't you know it, I haven't cried in many months. Our emotions are signs to tell us to make changes. If you are crying a lot, stop and think about what is making you so sad. What would improve the situation? Take it step by step. With doomscrolling, podcasts, etc., we've become masters of living outside of ourselves. It's good to tune back in on a daily basis. No, not really. It is healthy only during specific hard periods of life, but otherwise, you shouldn't cry. Definitely not on a daily basis. Try seeing what in your daily life prevents you from happiness. Almost never. Quite a lot, but usually because I watched or read or thought about something emotional. If it's just happening spontaneously all the time, it sounds like there's an underlying cause. Are you stressed, unhappy, lonely? Probably once a month maybe. I used to cry every day before I was on antidepressants though. While there are no proper guidelines on how much crying is acceptable, a fake I feel like daily or more sounds a bit excessive. That sounds more like depression to me, tbh. Perhaps you should seek professional help. I cry like 3 times a month maybe, but usually for a short amount of time. While I sympathize with crying every day, I feel like there's probably something more going on with your hormone imbalance or maybe depression. Definitely something that it's worthwhile talking to a doctor about. Maybe once a month, a few tears when I'm emotional. I cry when I think of my stupid ex, what he did to me. I don't know what it is, but I can't cry. I want to do it sometimes, but I can't. Like I can't cry anything out, and there is so much pain inside. I only cry if I have a panic attack or when my cat died. I would really like to cry more often to empty the inner pain. I think normal is quite dependent on you. When I'm at my most depressed, I'll cry twice a day. I feel like the state of everything in the world has been weighing on me since last year, and I'll cry a couple times a week. For me that's a bit much. But also as a woman, the time leading up to my cycle is cry city. I cry about all the things all the time. But that's been my normal since always. If it weird for you, reach out to a doctor. So far 0 in adult life, but I think if my wife was to die before me, I'd cry just for missing her. If my kids die, I'll more likely cry cause I'll be sad they didn't live a full life. My mother died, but I didn't cry even though she was my best friend and the person who I loved the most in life, and would have still been my one if she was here today. So that's why I'm just speculating when I might cry. I remember when the first Lion King movie came out, I cried in theaters. I haven't watched the movie in adulthood, but I bet it could make me cry again. The original, not the remake. If I cry over the remake, it's more so crying as to why they would butcher such a good movie. That's probably more than average. The last time I cried was yesterday, when I had this sort of hallucination panic attack thing, and that was the first in a while. I'd say before that maybe a few months ago.